I just talked about this in the summit video. Really weird. It's like prophetic? Fortuitous? I'm not sure. Either way, this is coming to us from the Washington Post. Democracy dies in darkness. Women's March cutting ties with 3 original board members accused of anti-Semitism. Calls for the co-chairs to resign arose before the 2019 Women's March on Washington. That is Linda Sarsour to your left and Tamika Mallory to your right, who I brought up I didn't bring up. She was in the summit, in the Revolt Summits video. So it's really interesting that this all played out the way that it did. This is written by Marissa Lang. Women's March co-chairs Linda Sarsour and Tamika Mallory speak during the Power to the Polls voter registration tour last year in Las Vegas. The Women's March is cutting ties with 3 inaugural board members who have been dogged by accusations of anti-Semitism, infighting, and financial mismanagement. Controversies some say have slowed the organization's progress and diminished its impact. Co-chairs Bob Bland, Tamika Mallory, and Linda Sarsour stepped down from the board July 15th, though the organization has been slow to announce their departures. The Women's March website continued to host their photos and titles as co-chairs through this week, when the group announced the board turnover. A diverse cast of 16 new board members that include 3 Jewish women, a man, a former legislator, 2 religious leaders, and a member of the Ogawa tribe of the Lakota Nation will inherit an organization recovering from a failed attempt to trademark the Women's March name and fractured relationships with local activist groups and the Jewish community. The shakeup comes at a critical time for the organization. With the 2020 election kicking into high gear, experts said organizers can no longer afford the distractions and controversies that have muddled the group's message and loomed over its every move. There's an opportunity here for a group to rise out of the ashes of divisiveness and continue on with the mission that was the Women's March. And honestly, that would be wonderful, said Dana Fisher, a sociology professor at the University of Maryland who studies and tracks protest movements. There were so many things that were odd decisions, and decisions that made it unclear whether they actually cared about building towards a blue wave and building on the energy and enthusiasm that was built in 2017. Pardon me, guys. Bland and Mallory, who served as co-presidents of the organization, will be formally replaced when the new board convenes for its first meeting this month. Once assembled, officials said the oncoming board will elect new leadership. This is from the one that took place in 2018. It's just been diminishing returns because, I mean, some of the stuff that came out was like nuts, like for real. Like you had, okay, I don't want to get the story wrong, but I think like Tamika Mallory was just going at this Jewish lady for I think the role in the slave trade or something like that, and I was just like, ooh, that's you can't sit there and like lean on the past. I'm not going to sit there and talk to Tamika Mallory about anything that Harriet Tubman did. Would you like to know why? Because they're 2 different people. You know, you can't attribute everything an individual does or a group does to an individual, because the likelihood that that individual had nothing to do with it is so great. Co-chair Carmen Perez, who runs the Gathering for Justice, a criminal justice reform group that seeks to end child incarceration and reform the justice system at large, will stay. Calls for the co-chairs to resign rose to a crescendo ahead of the 2019 Women's March on Washington, which drew thousands of women to the district in January, sporting the movement's telltale pink hats. Yeah, the vagina hats. Golly, y'all all just need, they all missing scent sticks, man. Or if they got a scent stick, it's a pretty weak one. Much of the controversy stems from an incident when Mallory attended a Nation of Islam event at which black nationalist Louis Farrakhan made incendiary remarks about Jews. Okay, I don't know if this is the writers just the writer being ironic, but black nationalist, if you can recall the summit video, Tamika Mallory started tripping over the whole nationalist title, which was very funny. particularly now that it's coming back up again. The march's leadership tried to quell the outrage, reaching out to the Jewish community and denouncing anti-Semitism, but leaders stopped short of denouncing Farrakhan, who is known for making virulently anti-Semitic remarks. Yeah, he was the one that compared them to like fleas or termites or something like that. And nah, fam, you can't do that, because you wouldn't like it if they talked about black people. See, that's the thing about the group. That's the thing about the tribe. You are happy to talk about other tribes and other groups in incendiary ways, but if it's put back on you and your group, you're gonna be outraged and you're gonna be upset. So how about not do it? Mallory didn't respond to requests for comment on her departure, although the organization issued a statement on Monday that said the three would transition off of the Women's March board and onto other projects focused on advocacy within their respective organizations, aka you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here. Reached via text message, Sarsour said the News Women's March board is amazing, adding that she will continue working to get voters to the polls in 2020. Linda Sarsour is a piece of work. That chick she's oh man, I like, as far as human beings go, not one of the best. I'm grateful to the women who stepped up to shepherd the Women's March, she wrote. Interesting turn of phrase there, shepherd, huh? Yeah, leading the sheep to cattle. Leading the cattle, huh? She wrote, this is what women supporting women looks like. Bland said the changeover was long planned by the outgoing leadership. The new board members, several of whom acknowledged that the organization has made mistakes and missteps in the past, were selected by a nominating committee. The new board members are Samia Essed, Zara Billu, Charlene. I don't care. I don't give a shit about your Women's March. Come on. I don't care. There we go. There we go. The geographic diversity of the new board is a shift from a concentration in New York and Washington, where all of its previous board members were based. The board's first big task will be overseeing a protest next month in the district. On October 6th, the group will host Reclaim the Court, which activists will gather to protest Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh's appointment and his work to overturn Roe v. Wade, according to women. Has he done that? Has he done that? Is there any evidence that he's trying to overturn Roe v. Wade? Oh, this is that, and that's why I ain't even bothering with these broads, because you kind of just illustrate and highlight, like Kavanaugh, like they just brought out fresh allegations against Kavanaugh that got walked back like 5 minutes later because, oh wait, no, like somebody says he was pushed, like somebody pushed him into somebody else's with his junk, like from 30 years ago. Stop like, yo, once you toss out allegations and they turn out to be bunk, you gotta expect that the next set of allegations, particularly ones like this, the ones that are just completely uncorroborated and uncorroboratable because there's like, it's 30 years ago, like, come on, stop it. Just stop this nonsense. The group also will focus on seeing through a federal policy platform unveiled last year that outlined a 10-pronged call to action for lawmakers. The platform, known as the Women's Agenda, at least very creative name, right? I mean, this thing, y'all can't name shit. Like, think about all these like black kids. I just saw a kid named The Coldest, and his middle name is To Ever Do It. Bruh. Like, yeah, like, honestly, like, yo, y'all are pretty terrible at naming things. Outlines priorities such as raising the federal minimum wage, addressing reproductive rights and violence against women, and passing long dormant equal rights amendment. You already got equal rights. I'm sorry. You got equality of opportunity. That's all you can really ask for. You can just ask for that. The opportunity is there. The opportunity is there. You know how I know this? Because you have we need more women CEOs. There are women CEOs. Oh, we need more women this. But we already got that. So what are you talking about? I mean, it's so ridiculous. Honestly, we should just, this is a big part of the reason why I feel like the welfare state gotta go. Like, we've been acquiescing way too long and way too hard. To some, the plan to issue a legislative agenda on behalf of all women spoke directly to the growing rift at the center of the Women's March movement. What began as a grassroots collaboration by hundreds of distinct organizations and activists became increasingly identified by one group and its leadership team of 4 women. Several cities, including Washington, New York, and Philadelphia, saw competing women marches in January, with groups offering alternative rallies for women who didn't want to affiliate with the national group. Wait a second. Oh, I think they did one in Atlantic City too. It was so lame. Did I do a video on it? I think I did a video on it. It's likely on my other channel, on the official Elected Official channel. If you're still with me after all of this, yes, it's likely still on the official Elected Official channel. Definitely go check it out because it was hilarious. And the comments were funny as hell. Earlier this year, the National Women's March organization abandoned its efforts to trademark the words Women's March, bringing a splintering 2-year battle over who owns the words and the movement to a close. Many organizers, separate from the National Women's March group, celebrated the national group's about-face as a victory for the movement. More than a dozen local organizations across the country formally opposed the national group's trademark petition, claiming that no entity can own the words Women's March or the activism it inspired. 4 of them sued. New board members said they hope to change the focus and reputation of the Women's March. Yeah, that's already done. Y'all might as well just rebrand. I mean, call it the Vaginal Voyage or something like that. I don't know, but that's that's fun for the comments. I mean, if you can come up with an alternate name for the Women's March, what would you name it? I think Vaginal Voyage. I like Vaginal Voyage. That's like the vaginal. They already wearing the hats. All right. Most of us are new to this, Green said. We don't have any relationships with state chapters. I think we're going to make sure we're building the right movement for everyone. Fisher said research shows organizers of successful protest movements have strong relationships with stakeholders. If this new board can't turn the ship around and create an organization that can play well with others, they'll be back in the same position as they were before, she said. The story of the Women's March began in 2016. Oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's just a little bit longer. Okay, the story of the Women's March began in 2016 with Facebook posts calling for women to rally in the wake of Donald Trump's election. As the new board convenes, members said the group plans to return to its roots in crafting priorities. So this thing has only been around, is just been a thing for the past like 3 years, and every year it continues to just get lower and lower and everything else like that because sanity starts. I mean, a lot of these chicks are just going out, getting laid, and being like, oh, wait, yeah, that is pretty stupid. So, yeah, I don't think you're ever getting back to where you once were on Women's March. They said the main goal will be getting Trump out of the White House. Well, too late. You've already missed the boat on that because no matter who the blue team puts forward, it's just not going to happen. You done messed it up, and you messed it up early. You messed it up early, you messed it up often, and this is on the blue team. This is on you. They said the main goal will be getting Trump out. Okay. The priority for me is really dealing with the very serious consequences that the president and his administration is doing and causing, Flores said. Once we're in the general election, the number one priority will be to defeat Trump, and we will do whatever it takes. That ship has sailed. Oh my goodness. And that's the thing. I think this is a pretty good highlight of the difference between a male and a female brain. Because the female is sitting there talking about, oh yeah, like you're sitting here thinking, yeah, you still got a chance. Whereas anybody who sees reality, sees the economy, sees that we had nothing crazy is taking place and people are getting more money right now. I mean, it's kind of done. Several newly appointed board members said the Women's March's biggest challenge remains its greatest strength, having the wide base of support among women with various life experiences and priorities. There is so much energy to harness, and as we approach it, but it's feminine energy. And that's the thing. Feminine energy is just chaos. It's your nature. You know, and then I'm hashtag not all, no all that fun stuff. No, of course, not all women with it. Like, there is nothing on this earth more beautiful than a woman in her right mind. But the deal is that we have gone out of our way as a collective, as a nation, as a collective, to, you know, really press the debauchery and press, you know, lifestyles that are ultimately empty. And you got females that think they're guys, guys that think they're chicks, and like, and so thusly you can foster the this type of energy that is pure emotion. And the thing about emotion, the thing about adrenaline, even, like, is that it calms down. That's why you saw it was big in 16, 17, 18, and we roll like 19. Like, wait, what is that? You know, so ladies, it's I have faith that you're coming back around to your senses. You're getting, you get a guy, you get that meat up in you, and you're like, oh wait, yeah, wow, that don't make no damn sense, you know, like, that doesn't make any logical sense, you know. And that's why the numbers continue to dwindle, and that's why they will continue to dwindle. The Women's March is dead. That's over. Golly, it's like, you know, waking up in the morning and seeing the sun just creeping right on over right over the hillside, you know. So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and the like, they don't like me like that. But I continue to grow little bit by little bit, but I do it with you. So I appreciate you so much. Every time I do a what's the name? A sub thank you video, I always reach, like, you know, like one of the broader numbers. Like, I was at like 246 when I did the birthday video, and I just cracked 250, and I'm like, what? So and speak, let me know, what do you think in the comments? Like, good riddance to bad rubbish, or like, do you feel like there's a chance the Women's March is going to be worth it? The Women's March can make a comeback? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you disagree, please, that's what they're there for. And until the next one.